Take a look in my game face. Ain't no stopping me. You know I'm coming in first place. Well, stop it till I get that ring. I'ma dominate all day. No matter who you bring, I will not lose. Yeah. I will not lose. I will not lose.
Yo, what up? It's your boy, When JJ Stone, a.k.a. Black Gritty. Welcome to another episode of Gritty Nights. I am semi-excited and happy. I don't know. I've been fighting with a lot of fans of Philly lately, and apparently Philly be fighting their own fans, and then they fight the other team's fans. So it's just a hostile environment, which honestly I appreciate in Philadelphia, because if you ain't fighting, you ain't caring. There's that domestic abuse. I don't know. I'm just saying there's been a lot of weird energy going on where people are drawing sins the line. Are you with Hurts? Are you without Hurts? Like, who do you believe in? What do you think we got to do? What's up, Mark? Oh, yeah, go Flyers. Sixers are playing tonight also, but the Sixers are doing a throwback night where they play against the process team. And I think the whole process team would whoop this lineup's ass tonight. I think I or maybe Jason or Harry could be playing for the 76ers tonight. What's up, Jason?
What's going on? Yeah, I almost called out. I was going to get a couple minutes, little run, you know.
Yeah, I believe you could have got a little run with the Sixers right now.
I can shoot a corner three. It won't go in, but I can shoot one.
See, it's Harry. Did they call you?
I'm locking up. You know what I'm saying? I'm clamping. That's all I know. If they get me out there, someone's not scoring.
So if you haven't checked the Sixers lineup, feel free to go do that. I'm not even going to tell you what it is because it's just abysmal and it's embarrassing and it's annoying, and you might as well just shut Joel Embiid down. At least just shut him down to at least the All-Star weekend. Like, there's no reason to keep playing this game right now. I don't understand where we're at or what we're doing. And Flyers just lead. See, last night I was watching the game, but I knew that the Rams were going to win. And by halftime, I was like, I'm tired. I was watching the Flyers, and the Flyers were down. And I was like, I guess everybody's losing tonight. I went to bed. I woke up. Flyers came back. I was like, oh, snap. Fly guy. See, maybe I was the bad juju, so I turned it off. So, yeah, we're here right now. How excited are you, Harry? You haven't been here in a couple weeks. You've been out gallivanting, running the streets, parlaying. Last time I saw you was with your brother, our brother, Samuel Jackson, coming to America. You know what I mean?
For real. Oh my God! Straight from Africa, for real. Actually,
he's back home swinging in tens a year.
Yep.
Now, so, how you been?
Been good, man. I mean, you know, I would say your energy to start the show is appropriate though, because I feel like there's this. I saw a tweet actually that was talking about how this playoff run reminds people of 2017 and 2022, but the person was saying it actually reminded them more of Red October, but they were saying that to say they expected the link to be rocking and just to have that type of energy. But I read it as now we have expectations and it's making it a little bit tense. So I think, you know, like you're saying, you know, I saw another thing saying that do we have to have takes all the time on things, right? Like, do I have to have a firm take that Hurts is not the guy, Hurts is the guy, Sirianni's not the coach? Can we just watch our team win and not have to have some, you know, super strong opinion at the end of it? I think I'm trying to lean into that tonight, but we'll see.
So before I get to you, Jason, it is the art of the take. You have to have a take because you don't want to be a coward and you need to be proven wrong. I went 500 on my picks for the weekend, but the ones I was the most strong about, I was correct about. So I feel good about that. The ones I was wishy-washy on, you know, it was like whatever. But you got to have a take, right, Jason? If you don't have a take, how is somebody going to laugh at you and say, ha ha?
I love having takes. Yeah. And I love when all my takes come back wrong. I love seeing my little old memories of my takes where I thought I had something and you're just like, man, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I really don't even know what I'm talking about most of the time.
That Twitter handle that goes freezing cold takes that they just come out and retweet people's stuff afterwards. It's so good. It makes me so happy.
It's goals to get on there. I need a take strong enough to get on freezing cold takes.
I think maybe the most famous freezing cold take, just to throw LeBron a bone, is the one where the guy's like, oh, LeBron's 30. Thank God it is. I
don't have to deal with this that much longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Every year when it's like. That is one of my favorite takes because every year they put that out at the beginning of the season. Year 17, year 18, year 19, year 20, 2020, loading 2022. It's like, yo, he's not retiring until he gets his other son in the league, and then he'll play for 26 years and then he'll retire. A quarter of a century, and then LeBron's out. So how you feeling, Jason, about Philadelphia, the Eagles, and flying high in the George W that we got this weekend?
Things are going good, right? Best defense in the league, and defense and running the ball wins in the playoffs, and it proved itself again against the Packers. The Packers couldn't do anything against the Eagles. They got one touchdown off of one weird run after N'Kobe got hurt, right? And then after that, all was well. The defense just keeps creating turnovers at a nice clip.
Well, they didn't capitalize on the turnovers that much. So aren't you angry about that? Aren't you raging out that they didn't?
No way. Not in the playoffs. It's survive in advance time, baby. Win the game and move on to the next round. I don't care what they do. They would have scored 30 points if Saquon wasn't a nice guy.
So let's talk about something in a rational way, because it doesn't happen, with the radio or with the Twitter or with blogs or with other podcasts. Like I see the clips, and maybe that's why our show clips don't go viral, because we don't say the dumbest things in America just to make people click on them. Like sometimes even the one thing we had a viral comment section on was the guy was saying something that Harry didn't even say in the video. Yeah. Like if you listen to the video, you're arguing against yourself. But so how do you look at when you hear Duffy, Orlovsky, Seth Joyner, those guys say, yes, Jalen missed 3 or 4 throws that he should have made. He missed them. But the rest of the time, he either completed a pass or he didn't throw the ball where it would have been picked off in harm's way, because the Packers are a top 5 defense and they knew the vanilla offense that was being run and they had everybody covered. Is it, Jason, is it you thinking that Jalen was just abysmal and he's the worst quarterback ever, or there was coverage and he missed a few plays? Like which way are you leaning? Because it seems like that's either one side or the other, what's going on with everybody right now. So if you don't like Hurts, I already know what side of your ledger you lean on. So
no, I don't know why. For some reason, Kellen Moore's offensive scheme this year has been really vanilla the entire season. Like this isn't a new situation. The route combinations and things seem easy to cover, and they're usually just a lot of guys doing the same thing. There's no nuance to it. There's no anything to disguise or trick a defense. Guys always know where everybody's going to be, and it's really slowing down the passing offense. But then it turns Jalen into a cyborg who does just enough to win the game. He never does more, he never does less, because they always win, but he just does enough, and then that's it, and he gets out of there, and he knows that's all he needs to do. 130 yards? Sure, perfect, we'll win, great.
Harry?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I feel like I've definitely been more reactionary to certain Jalen plays than I was earlier in the year, just because of, again, being 29 to 31st, whatever we've been, in passing is created a little bit of tension for me. And I would hate to, lose a Super Bowl or lose out in the playoffs just because we're not dominating the way that we want to on offense. So there's definitely a little bit of angst for me with Jalen. And I think with me, the main thing still, obviously, there was a couple, there was one late throw to AJ that he threw behind him and low, and I remember that one. But ultimately, I do remember mostly, I'm still worried about Jalen's pocket awareness. I think that's my biggest concern going forward. It's not necessarily that, again, like you guys are talking about, he's avoiding making big, crucial mistakes, which is as big of a factor in winning a game as anything. I just worry that, again, crucial time in a game, to 7-step drop, and he's got 3 defenders around him, and he's just not even really aware of it. I feel like that we've seen plays like that happen every so often, including last game. I have one very vivid one in my mind. So yeah, I still believe in Jalen. I'm not worried about the team, but yeah, it definitely feels like sometimes we have a momentum going early in the game, and we're up 10-0, and we get a turnover, and we should be blowing them out, going into halftime, and it's not happening. So I don't know who to blame for that. I think that you guys described the offense, Kellen Moore's vanillaness might be the bigger factor than Jalen. But I really do love that he is, despite maybe not taking certain risks, he's also not making crucial mistakes, and that's really important.
I really feel like it's just the play calling is vanilla and risk avert because the defense is playing so well. So it seems like, when they come down and scored finally, what did Jalen do? Walked the team down there and got a field goal. They scored again. What did he do? A 7-minute drive to start the fourth quarter that ended in a field goal. So, I mean, it's almost like what you said earlier, Jason. Like when he needs to do it, he gets it done, and otherwise he's just in cruise control. And they're literally telling him, hey, if you don't see it, don't throw it, because we just don't want to turn over here. We don't want to give up the momentum. And that seems to be the job that he wants to get done. I personally at halftime got off of Twitter because I was already, I'm talking live, I'm tweeting live, I'm in the midst of everything, and then I just started feeling like the game is close, but the game is over. Like it was so close, and I'm like, man, that one play they could be back in this game, but the way the defense was handling them and they were dropping like flies, it was a body bag 2.0 light game. I mean, people were just dropping like flies, and I felt like, man, Slay got a big turnover. Jordan just didn't look right, and he was banged up and injured. And Jalen also coming off the concussion. AJ Brown not practicing. Devontae Smith not practicing. I just feel like everything worked out the way that it needed to work out to get a win. And people are going to complain that Jalen Hurts this, Jalen Hurts that. I'm like, but if you take out the yards, everything else is what you want. Do you want 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, or do you want 3 interceptions and no touchdowns and a pretty ball being thrown all over the field? Because you can't have both right now. And so styles make fights. I feel like when people bring up the Tanner McKee and Pickett, I want that kind of offense. Jason, why did the offense look different with Tanner McKee in the game versus the Giants?
Because the Giants suck.
Okay.
Their defense stinks.
Harry, do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, let's give Tanner a little bit of props. He's got some arm talent for sure. So I mean, it's Jalen's a different type of player. So I wouldn't necessarily. It's apples and oranges a little bit, but yeah, of course the Giants are terrible. Tanner was in there. We already locked the division up. I mean, people are crazy if they think that he should come in over Jalen.
If you know anything about me, I've loved Tanner time since last year.
Oh yes.
I did not want Mariota on my team. I wanted Tanner to be my backup quarterback. I didn't want Kenny Pickett. I wanted Tanner to be my backup. That being said, the guy's won 3 games in college. Great human being, mission guy, went over to another country, did mission work, came back. He's on this team. He's learning. He's growing. He's 6'6", and he's got the Lord on his side. So he doesn't panic. He doesn't worry. The reason it looks different is he is 6'6". So when you have a line that averages 6'5" to 6'9", he can stand in the pocket and do a play action and throw right over the middle and not have to move or go anywhere. When you have a quarterback that's 6 foot, 6'2", you got to move the pocket to get him throwing lanes. It's just the way the offense is built. And I'll tell you this, I don't care what's going on. If Tanner McKee was playing against the Packers and they were blitzing like that, I know he got the load on the side. I know he's super cool. He'd have had his face in the dirt because he's not as mobile as Jalen to get out and make those breakaway runs occasionally like he did, which I was shocked that he did. That first slide was perfect execution on a baseball slide. And that one where he landed upside down on his head, I'm like, oh, my God, we're all freaking out in the moment. I know we all felt it. But Tanner McKee is 6'6", but he was also playing against the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Like, you got to understand that there's a different level of defense that you're going up against. And Jalen Hurts gives us our best opportunity to win. And if you're a Nick Sirianni guy and you're bashing Jalen, this is why I had to shut up about Nick Sirianni. And I have, right? Since the bye week, I've once in a while I'm about Nick, but I've had to shut up because they've gone on a winning streak. They've won games. He's been quiet. He's taken the points. He's risk averse. And I feel like maybe he was going for it all the time because he didn't have as much trust in the defense as he did the Super Bowl year. Now that he does, he's like, I'll punt it, whatever. 4 for 4. Nope. Just hand the ball off. I don't care. And so for the only thing that he does is call those plays, he's been so much more reasonable and rational. I haven't had problems. So I can't complain. Jalen Hurts is winning all these games. Well, Nick's winning the games too. So it's hand in hand until they separate from each other of who's responsible. But you can't bash one and not bash the other. You can't uplift one and not uplift the other. So it's just a weird time. Anything else you took away from the game besides Dean going down? Harry, who'd you like on defense? Who made you happy?
Zach Bond, baby. Zach Bond makes me happy every single day that he's on Eagle. Maybe sad about how we're not signing him though early, because now I'm like, are we even going to keep him?
He is 27 years old. He's had his first breakout year in his career. He's a linebacker. We're going to give him $9 million. He's going to be so happy to take it and not have to move, and we're going to go on about our business.
All right, you made me feel better.
Yeah. If he was 24 years old, he'd be gone.
Oh,
if
God.
He was 24 years old and had this year in his career, somebody be out here paying him $25, $27 million a year, and we couldn't keep him. He's 27. This is his last big contract. Howie's going to go out there and give him $8 to $10 million, and he's not going to want to leave because, again, this system and these players have also gotten him to his play level.
Absolutely.
He can go try and take a paycheck somewhere else and not get it, and the paycheck's not going to be that great because of his age. And linebackers don't get paid after 30 years old. Jason, who'd you like on defense?
Oh, Nolan Smith was a beast out there.
Oh,
he set, early on, he set the tone when he hurt Elgton Jenkins when he was trying to pull, and he stopped that immediately. And then they had to rotate linemen the rest of the game, and it just really threw off the Packers' game plan after that. And he went against, Zach Tom, who's supposed to be PFF's all-pro right tackle over Lane Johnson, and he ate that guy up all day.
Lane is on a mission. Lane is upset that he did not get first team. And I know that was directly shot at the Packers, but I feel like it's a direct shot at anybody he goes up against. He is not going to want to have.
I know Lane was mad when he slipped on that one and got that holding call.
He sure was. He sure was. And Nolan Smith has bounced back. He went from being injured to injuring people and knocking guys out, going beast mode on people. And he's put on like 25 pounds. He looks so fast out there.
Yeah.
He looks so strong out there. And he looks like Mighty Mouse. When I see him when he's done doing his job, he looks so small. Yeah. When he was chasing down Love, it almost looked like a high schooler chasing down a college kid. He just looked smaller than him. But like that little instance of and Love isn't slow, but Love isn't fast, but he's got good escapability. When he hawked him down on that roll out to the right, when he was trying to get around the corner, get that first down, I was like, "Whoo, baby!" That felt good because it was like, "Oh, he's gonna take this corner and he's gone." And Smith was like, and so he was amazing. Carter actually got a couple holding calls. That was impressive because he never gets any of the calls, and that made me feel really good. Quinyon got his first pick. Quintanamo Bay.
It's about time.
Big play. Slay got a pick, and he got a nice pick too.
Nice pick.
That was such a nice D-ball interception. That was big play Slay.
Yep.
First pick in the postseason for him.
Wow.
You saw that was the first pick by Eagles corners this year. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Crazy.
That's not the craziest first of the entire game.
What is it?
Jalen's first ever non-play action pass from under center as a completion.
Oh yeah,
that is actually insane. That is
the weirdest. What? No chance.
That again. That's where it's like, is it the size of the line that does that? Because why don't you just pop and drop, like pop and throw? Like, how's that not a thing? But whatever.
Yeah.
First things first. They got it done. But yeah, the whole defense looked amazing. For all the people who are bashing on Jalen, Saquon Barkley's run up against a brick wall. They were blitzing the daylights out of Jalen, throwing everything but the kitchen sink. And Saquon was 2 yards, 3 yards. He was not breaking off a lot of big runs. So what happens is they always do, they wear you down. And at the end, he busts out that big run. If he would have done that in the beginning of the fourth quarter, he would have scored. If he would have been on a 20-yard line, it would have been 10 yards left, he would have scored. But he still had 40 yards to go, and he's like, look, I'm not trying to get horse-collared. The coaches obviously told them no moss because that's what he came up with. There's no moss. So the players on the sideline were very upset that he's not.
Smitty was not having it.
America was upset. A.J. Brown was upset. And
I was upset.
Yeah, you were upset. Well, if we all had the book Emotional Intelligence, which is now #1 in America, I saw an interview with the author, and he was very pleased. He said he knows a lot of athletes that read it, and he did know A.J. Brown had his book, but he had never, he didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, well, Philadelphia's getting it. I hope it inspires other Philadelphia people to be better. So apparently the book's a good read. Amazon quotes and reviews aside, with some of the Eagles jokes and fandom, having fun with it. Good time.
That's the best part of Eagles fans.
It is the best part of Eagles fans. Harry, did you have a problem with him having a book on the sideline?
No. Oh my God. I think, who was it? Dotson or somebody? I think somebody reposted. Who was it? Man, I forget. It wasn't Acho. It was somebody else, I think. But somebody made a comment about oh, he's reading. Where's his head at? This, that, and the third. Just trying to have a take, right? Have a take about it. And then Dotson, I think, reposted him, AJ, like with the book wide open against, like, I think the Commanders earlier in the year. He had like 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. So it's like, all right, be mad about it for what? I mean, AJ's a monster and he'll always be a monster. I'm not mad at all.
Jason?
Yeah, no, that's how he calms himself down. You know, we don't like when AJ gets mad on the sidelines. We don't like when he's calm and reading on the sidelines. It's just that people are always trying to find a reason to be upset with AJ Brown just because they want controversy from the guy. And he really isn't that controversial. He just wants the ball.
If he was reading Give Me the Damn Ball, I'd feel some sort of way about it.
Yeah. That would have been great, though.
Oh, man, my God.
That's so funny.
Keyshawn would have been on a world tour.
Yeah.
But it's almost like reading Bible verses. Like, I know people that do that to calm their mind, and it's just not a big deal. And OG Wade was going crazy because he just doesn't like AJ. And I'm like, you sound like the people that talk about Jalen Hurts.
Right. Like,
you're just finding something to hate on and be mad about.
What's not to like about AJ?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. How could you not like AJ? Like, literally, how could you not like AJ?
He wants the ball too much, and he's out showing up.
Give him the ball.
Again, like I said, when you don't like somebody, you find all kinds of reasons to hate them.
Yeah.
And again, to my credit, I don't like Nick Sirianni, but at least I don't overdo it. I made a video today talking about how Kevin O'Connell, supposed to be coach of the year, getting coach of the year votes, and he's the wonder boy, and he's the next Sean McVay, he's the next Kyle Shanahan. And this dude has had 2 13+ win teams. He lost to Daniel Jones, and he just lost to a team in the same fashion that he lost to him early in the year. So you made no adjustments. You had the same exact situation. You made no adjustments. And again, Sam Darnold was not good. But when they're blitzing the life out of you and you notice what they're going to do because the Lions just did it, you don't have any kind of game plan or adjustments. They didn't make any adjustments till the middle of the third quarter. By then it was too late.
Way too late.
Way too late. And you already knew what the game plan was going to be against you. So you just sit there and line up the same plays. That's coaching. A lot of that has to do with coaching. And again, the commenter said, you're just doing this because you be talking stuff about Nick. I was like, yeah, I talk trash about Nick because we family.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Harry knows I make fun of Harry all the time. Let somebody else say something about Harry when I'm standing there. Like, hey. Nah, bro, that's not how we get down.
Exactly.
You know? But you just said, yeah, that's my fan. That's my little I can say that. You can't say that. I know his haircut looks messed up. He bald like me. You know what I mean? But his hair grow back. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna let nobody else do it. See, I talk about Nick, but I don't let other fans talk about Nick. I get mad when the national media does it overboard,
right?
Especially when he doesn't do anything. When he does the stuff he does, you get what you deserve. But sometimes they just go crazy. So this other guy, O'Donnell, this dude just be getting away with it. Like, that's bad coaching, bro. Like, nobody's going to say, oh, Sam Darnold's the worst. You're lucky you got where you were because of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And you did him no favors. So that is one thing that irks me. Nick's been winning games. He's had the most winning percentage behind Andy Reid. He can't even get a coach of the year nod. And that's because of all the things that I don't like about him. The media, the voters, they just don't like his attitude and his savoir-faire. So he can't get coach of the year. Ooh, that rhymes on a rapper. Damn, I'm good. So is there anything else we got to talk about with the Packers game?
No. Last thing I was going to say is just that, like you mentioned at one point, top 5 defense. Like, remind yourselves, fans out there, the Packers are a good team. The defense is a good defense. Like, there's way more involved than just we didn't
led the league in turnovers. So that's why you don't want to throw the ball all around willy-nilly and get messed over.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the rest of the league. Kate's in here. Let's start with Kate's team just to make Kate happy and to get it out of the way. The Buffalo Bills played who?
The
Broncos. Bo Nix.
Sean
Payton. R.I.P. Sean Payton.
And the amount of this is the things I don't like. Like I said, like when people talk about Nick, that's why I brought up O'Connell because if you want to talk about one coach versus another and you want to praise one over the other, look at what you're talking about and look at who you're denigrating. Bo Nix had a game where they won. He had 60 yards passing. And they won a game off of the defense. And all I hear is, Bo Nix is ascending. Oh, my God, he's just finding ways to win. What? Okay. What? Do you not see Jalen Hurts do this all the time? And he actually had touchdowns, too, with his 60 yards. Like, So I don't get it. I don't like Bo Nix. I don't like the Broncos. I don't like Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is a dog and a piece of crap, and I can't stand him. So I automatically hate Bo Nix. But the Bo Nix hype was unfathomably insane. You looked up at that game. They dog walked Buffalo out the gate. Buffalo was not ready for that. Buffalo was like, hey, we're jumping through tables. We're gonna wait. How do you get a touchdown? He's already got a touchdown.
Yeah,
he got a touchdown. And it was like, then the next drive to the Buffaloes, did they score or did they have to punt and then they held them and then they punted and they went and scored, right?
That's how it worked, yeah.
So I was like, what is going on? I'm like, Denver. Oh no, Denver. Oh no. So they came out the gate, walked down the field and just scored. Buffalo gets the ball back. They stall, punt, give it back to them. They stall. And then Buffalo's like, yeah, you were doing that dance in the end zone and you were doing it on fourth down. We went off the field. I'm done with you. So then they went and put up 31 unanswered points. And my goodness gracious, the Buffalo fans don't sell their tickets to anybody. To anybody. I don't think I saw like a family section for Denver out there.
Nope.
I really don't. Like, I'm like, nobody from Denver. I didn't see one lick of orange. It was blue and red till you were dead. It was amazing. It was impressive. Harry, did you get to watch that game?
Yeah, I did. I mean, like you said the dog walk thing. I was like, I thought you were about to start saying Buffalo dog walk. Then you said the thing about Denver coming out like that. But yeah, it's funny, man. A lot of people were picking like Denver as their like sneaky kind of team to upset Buffalo, and I started thinking like, man, I don't know. I thought this was the year. The vibes are Josh Allen. He's cool, calm, and collected all the time. Like I didn't really understand that so much, but yeah, I thought it would be a little tighter than it ended up being. I think, like you said, it started out a little sketchy for Buffalo, but yeah, they're a legit powerhouse team, and I think any team out of the AFC is going to be tough, you know, for the Lions or the Eagles, hopefully.
Jason, I know you were there with Kate, you know what I mean? She said her nephew's going to his first game ever. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate was over there, you know what I mean, with the pom-poms out, probably throwing her shirt at the TV. You know, I know how she get when she see Josh out there, you know what I mean?
We were all recovering from being sick. We were subdued watching all the games this weekend. There was
all
low energy,
snuggled up underneath the blanket,
just trying not to die up there.
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
But it's either hot or cold. Who don't know what the hell's going on?
Yeah. So, did you enjoy it? Were you happy?
It's fun times, man.
Yeah.
Both teams won this weekend in our house, so you know all is well.
Yeah. That one hit late where the guy got injured. That God, I'm like, Buffalo, y'all got to do something. I don't know
when Davis got hit.
Yeah. I was like, man, he got rocked.
Josh set him up on that one with that pass floating like that.
Oh my God, he hung him out to dry. So that game ended up being a wash. Then you look at the Ravens and the Steelers. Everybody in America knew that the Steelers were going to lose. Mike Tomlin has not won a playoff game in the last 6 attempts
since we were in high school.
That's crazy.
Fire Mike Tomlin? ? I mean,
mediocre Mike. Okay, so hold on. Let me do this so I can do this for myself. Mediocre. Boop-a-doop. 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 Get rid of you too.
Uh-oh.
Mike Tomlin, you shouldn't get fired. You're not going to get fired. The Roonies aren't going to fire you. And I know you don't want to go anywhere, and I know that you're going to stay there for another 10 years before anything happens in your situation. But hear me out. The Pittsburgh Steelers should trade you to the Bears. The Bears division is just as quote-unquote strong as your division, but they don't have real quarterbacks. They don't have a Joe Burrow. They don't have a Lamar. They've got Goff. They've got Love. And they've got Darnold, Mayo, mayonnaise. I don't know. But if you got traded there, they could get a first-round pick. They can go draft their quarterback. You would already have a quarterback in Caleb Williams, a semi-decent defense, and you could go run everything out there in Chicago. I believe that Mike Tomlin, mediocre Mike, needs a new place to go play. I know he doesn't want it. I know the Roonies aren't going to do it, but my goodness, Chicago, you should make that call. Chicago would do anything to make the playoffs every year for the next 4 years and not have a losing season. For the next 5 years, they would love it. And Mike could guarantee you that he'd come in, he changed the culture, and you, for the first time since 1988, would have a quarterback that was steady, a winning game, and something to hang your hat on. I think that's what should happen with mediocre Mike Tomlin. Do you guys like that?
It's pretty good. Mike Tomlin kind of reminds me of Andy Reid at the end of his Eagles tenure at this point, where things are just kind of stale, where everybody could use a change. Not that he's a bad coach, because Andy wasn't a bad coach when he left the Eagles. Mike Tomlin's not a bad coach. It's just time. It just runs out for everybody in certain places.
And he's too good for his own good.
Yes, because they never get to draft a QB.
They never get to draft a QB. And he's bad at picking offensive coordinators.
Oh, yeah.
He just can't do it. And so I know that it won't happen, but he needs to go somewhere. And he could turn that division around. That division being a powerhouse, I mean, let's be honest. The Rams are left in, so they kicked out the Vikings. We kicked out the Packers.
Right.
Detroit's the only one left now. Yeah. NFC East, we still got 2 representatives. Oddly enough. So,
yeah.
This is the hardest division in the NFC. Is it? Was it? I don't know.
Told you they came up like the SEC in the playoffs.
They did come up like the SEC in the playoffs.
Yikes.
So back to the game. We all knew that the Ravens were going to kick the lights out of them, because normally what happens is the Steelers have Lamar's number. But in the losing streak from the Eagles, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles for giving everyone the blueprint. Hey, the Steelers can't stop the run. Can you run? If you can, you're not going to lose the game.
Yeah.
And they went out there and they put together an 8-minute drive. They wanted to beat Eagles so bad and do a 12-minute drive, but they couldn't do it. But they put together an 8-minute drive. They put together a 6-minute drive, and Henry was just destroying them left and right. And then Lamar got in on it. And it's just how you beat the Steelers. TJ Watt can't get off. He can't sack your quarterback. The quarterback's 15 yards past him down the field. And nobody over there seemed to be able to tackle Henry. It becomes so much more legendary. Like, it's going to be on, if he makes the Hall of Fame, that's going to be the play that they show from his rookie year, him one-on-one with King Henry, Cooper DeJean.
I was like, who are you talking about?
I was like, yeah, Henry's making the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah. No. Cooper DeJean making the Hall of Fame from that tackle. That's going to be the video they play when he makes Hall of Fame, because there's nothing else he can do for the rest of his career that gives that kind of power. Right. There's nothing else, because Derrick Henry is, we talked about earlier, he is a man among boys, and he has trucked more people than anybody else in the league. And for him to get shut down like that, woo, by the Caucasian persuasion. Oh, you want some exciting whites? That was exciting. Did you enjoy the Ravens game, Harry? Did you get to watch any of that? Or you just
I didn't enjoy that much of football this weekend, to be honest. If I'm being real, like, there were a lot of boring games. It wasn't the best, wild card weekend ever. Again, I'm a fan of Russ, losing sometimes and being weird, and I'm a fan of Lamar and Derrick Henry and stuff. But I'd like to just go back to your Bears point real quick. Mike Tomlin and LaFleur and Dan Campbell coaching the same division. That's an exciting coaching kind of tree there. So I like that. I like that point a lot. I want Mike to get out of there. But yeah, ultimately, it's like, I don't even know how Steelers fans must be feeling right now watching that game. They must be
they're upset
right now.
And they're beside themselves and they're distraught.
Yes.
Jason, did you get to watch any game? Do you care about that matchup? Did it matter to you at all?
The best part about it was Baltimore was running some really unique plays where Lamar was coming in motion while Derrick Henry was in the Wildcat. And they really threw the middle linebackers for Pittsburgh for a loop. They had no idea where to chase, and whichever choice they made ended up being wrong.
It almost felt like, because I was watching it, I was at live casino event that E-Rock threw for like a lot of the West Coast Eagles guys that came out here, and I was watching it on all the big screens, and it just looked like somebody playing Madden. I was like, man, you were just throwing the jumbo run packages out here, and you were just trucking people, like. And they know it's coming. That's the other part too. Like, you knew it was happening, and it was just like, bro, I'm sorry. Just let it happen.
When you watch Pittsburgh, you just look at that roster and you're like, who's good? Like, that team has no talent. Like, Fitzpatrick's supposed to be good at the back end, but he couldn't do anything. TJ Watt hasn't done anything in 4 weeks. So, and then who else is there?
Pickens question mark? Yeah, exactly.
He hates being there, but he might not. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. So the craziest thing about, like, I talk about this all the time when I talk about Nick. Nick is a CEO coach without doing anything, because when you talk about Mike Tomlin, you say Tomlin defense. When you talk about Todd Bowles, you say Todd Bowles defense. You don't even know the name of their coordinators because you just know that they're the ones running the defense. Even if they're not calling the plays, it's their style, their setup.
Right.
When I looked at the last 6 or 7 playoff games from Mike Tomlin, his defenses have given up 30-plus points every game in the playoffs. And as much as it's a Mike Tomlin defense and people are physical and they do all the things they do and they get all the sacks and they got TJ Watt, they got defensive player of the year, and they can't stop anybody in the postseason.
I'm just like, where did they spend their money? They spent $3 million on quarterbacks. So where is the money being spent?
It's absolutely mind-boggling. And shout out to him for doing the whole we play every game, we play every preseason game, we do all the things, and you lose dues to the war of attrition by the end of the year. So maybe there's something to that too, that they go full balls to the wall, even in their practice, fighting each other and stuff. Yeah. Very weird situation.
It's just a weird roster. Their GM does a bad job there.
Yeah. What other game we had this weekend? We had the Commanders
and the Bucks.
The Bucks let me down.
Yeah.
Harry,
I agree.
How do you feel about that?
I agree. I thought it was going to be a much better game. I thought the Bucks had a shot, you know what I mean, honestly, to win that game. And they've looked good, you know, in spurts, I guess, this year. But, like, at times, like, they look like their offense can't be stopped. So we know the Commanders have an offensive, you know, kind of minded team. So I thought it would be more high scoring for the Bucks. And, yeah, Baker, I don't know. I mean, Mike Evans got his 1,000 yards. Baker's the dog. He's the, you know, the team guy, the QB.
Out this year.
Right, and then they end up kind of going out like that. I'm kind of happy because like I didn't want to see them, to be honest. You know what I mean? This is our luck with them, but disappointing game in general. And I don't like that Jaden Daniels has you know, more experience and is feeling even more confident coming into playoffs potentially after the Rams. But we'll see. I think they're gonna lose to the Lions.
Jason.
So the most fun play of that game was when Baker trucked Bobby Wagner. That was the funniest play of the game. And it all ended up being for nothing. And I'm running out of ways to say Washington's not really that good because they just keep winning games late. And I just watched them and they never impress me, but yet they just keep winning and they just keep scoring, right?
So yes and no. The offense of the Tampa Bay Bucks has so many injuries on it.
Mm-hmm.
They limped into the playoffs. They were missing their defensive backs. They had guys that were out, guys stepping in, and they were reeling. The Commanders just get lucky. Their luck really started with that Hail Mary with the Bears. Yep. They got lucky. They knocked Jalen Hurts out after the team was about to freaking blow them out of the water, and they get that George W. And even in this game, they get that doink, and Baker was balling and super confident, and then he had that fumble. And he had that fumble late, and you knew that was going to be the game. And the Commanders are frauds. The Commanders are last year's Packers, and I have no faith or belief in the Commanders because it hurts my heart, soul, and mindset to think that they might be for real. So they need to go and get obliterated by the Lions or get lucky and beat the Lions, because either way, we're beating the Commanders. But I just don't like the confidence. I don't like the savoir-faire, as the word I used earlier. I don't like the bravado, and I don't like that Jaden Daniels is already getting all of them. I've seen more Commanders in my feed and comments than I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like talk about cockroach fans. These guys that come out of the world. I got people in my life that I'm like, yo, I've never seen you wear anything maroon. Not Maroon 5, not shade of maroon, nothing. Now you out here, commando and bump. Get out my face. So it makes me sick. And Todd Bowles, you let us down, even though I didn't want to see Todd Bowles. But Todd Bowles is spying him. Todd Bowles is out there doing what he's supposed to do. Jaden couldn't go get free. He had a spy out there on him, and that's what he does to Jalen. I just thought they should have won that game and took them out of our misery. What other game was there?
Texans
and Chargers. Everybody wants a Herbert. Do you want a Herbert? I'd love a Herbert. He's 6 foot, Caucasian, and his hair is like the golden beach blonde from the sun. I love Justin. Have you seen Justin Herbert? Have you seen cheekbones? Have you seen him when he does this, when he takes his helmet off? Oh my God. Oh my God. Shut up. Dude had 4 interceptions. The quarterbacks that lost this week got more grace than Jalen Hurts got from the national media in a win. I'm looking at Teddy Bruschi, who's a Patriot, who personally hates the Eagles, sticking up for Jalen Hurts, talking about, Well, if you actually watch how the defense was playing him, if you actually watch the pass he did complete, I'm like, my God, this guy's sticking up for Jalen. I got my own fans and people going crazy. Like, Love lost. He threw 3 picks. Well, injury. He came off the thing. Well, my guy was concussed. Herbert, 4 picks. Well, he's slinging it. He's just trying to get his team back in it. He threw 1 touchdown. It was to the other team. He threw a pick 6. Like, he spent the whole year being under control and having 3 interceptions. You know what happened? Pressure happened, and he busted under the pipe, just like he did in his last playoff game. 3 times he's had to have playoff type games. He's lost all 3. I just don't understand why, because he throws a pretty ball. I'll take Justin Herbert every day over Jalen Hurts. Why? He's a loser. And you can blame it on the rest of the team all you want. Jalen Hurts is stacked. Did I say go? He won 11 games with Swift. He won 13 games with Sanders.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but he's winning with other people, and other people are having their best years under him. Do you like Herbert, Harry?
Man, not as much as I used to. I'll tell you that much. I do still like Herbert. Again, I think that their issue more so is offensive coordinator with the Chargers. I mean, they just don't have a very exciting offense. Harbaugh's got the defense kind of going into next year. So I think they're still promising, and Herbert still gets the benefit of the doubt because of that pretty ball, because of the incompetencies on offense, that he could still be that, maybe not that guy, but a contender sort of guy. I was just shocked that the Texans turned it around the way they did, because they've been disappointing me all year. And CJ seemed like he was falling off, and just like Joe Mixon kind of screwed me in my fantasy playoffs, even though he was carrying me during the regular season. So it's just all that kind of happening at the same time was kind of funny. It's like the Texans reemerged, and Herbert Harbaugh train went crashing down like people maybe thought it would. So very interesting, in that regard.
Jason,
I mean, the most fun part of that game was the Nickelodeon broadcast. I got to watch, a bunch of slime get shot every time the Texans scored.
Oh, the Explorer.
Yeah.
Do you know where the end zone is? I was like,
yo. That would be enjoyable. Otherwise, that game couldn't have been more boring to watch. The Chargers need another receiver, right? They have Lad McConkey, and they have no one else. They don't have any other guy that can make a play. Quentin Johnson, the guy they drafted out of TCU in the first round, has one fatal flaw, in that he can't catch a football. That's a pretty strong issue to have as a receiver. But so they got to add another playmaker, a tight end, something. Their offensive line's good. I don't like their running backs. And Herbert, like you said, he's never won anything. He didn't win in college at Oregon. He hasn't won in the pros. He's just a guy that is going to put up fun stats and is someone you want to have on your fantasy team, not in real life, though.
Oh, Dora. That's cold. Okay, Dora. Hey, Dora, what's up?
Okay. Who needs a map to help find the end zone?
Oh, Dora. That's cold. Okay, Dora. Hey, Dora, what's up?
Okay. Who needs a map to help find the end zone?
On Patrick Star.
Oh, yeah.
That's
so,
crazy.
Yeah, your guys' points are correct. I will say this, too. CJ Stroud, who I loved last year, and the Texans haven't looked great. He didn't even look great in that game.
No.
He wasn't capitalizing on all the turnovers really well. Like, they were running the ball, and one was a pick 6 run back. But, I mean, it was just they both just looked so bad. It was just such a bad game. And sometimes, again, that happens in the playoffs. But it was just bad. It was like, oh, see, the Bengals should have made it in. I was like, yeah, and the Bengals either would have blew somebody out by 40 or got blown out by 40. Right. There's no give or take with them, because it just is what it is. And I know they won late, but they need to win early. And Joe Burrow still get my benefit of the doubt, because he almost threw for 5,000 yards. Chase had the triple crown. Like, I know that he's a dog.
He's nice.
Bro, you can't keep missing the playoffs. You can't keep coming on late.
No.
And they've got to get him help, but they're not going to get him help because the ownership is cheap and they're not going to pay anybody. And that's partly his fault too. He should never took that contract. He should have left.
Yep. They got a draft lineman. I mean, it's still crazy how he gets 1.5 seconds, 1 second to throw the ball, and his pocket awareness, all those little intangible things he has really helps him a lot. I don't know why. Sorry, I don't want to talk about the Bengals too much. They're not even in the playoffs. But I was going to ask real quick, kind of I think it happened a few weeks ago, but CJ Stroud, when Tank Dell had that injury, and then he's broke down on the field crying. CJ, I'm just as much as I respect, and I'm an emotional guy too, and I appreciate that, that his care for his friend, I still feel like the CJ that I remember from last year would have been like locked in, and I just don't know. I feel like he's having a weird mental year, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt too. Sophomore slump, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. The Texans, I thought they were just gonna, lay a duck. To be honest with you, I'm surprised they won the way they did.
Well, he does love the Lord and he prays, and his buddy in Texas is Micah Parsons, who cried when one of his teammates got hurt. So super sensitive, emotional guys, and wears, and they don't have the wherewithal to read the content that AJ Brown is reading to help center them.
Yeah.
Maybe they need something to help them control their emotions. Because you're right, bitch. That's what I mean. I'm just saying. I know we're supposed to be vulnerable. We're men, but you're also on the field, and he's not dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Homie didn't get shot in a drive-by.
He's still a millionaire. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you out here, like, they're never gonna walk again or something like that. Like, not gonna win, everything's okay.
Yeah.
It was very strange to see those emotions.
Why'd you have to bring up Ricky? Like,
Ricky?
I know that now. I'm sorry. Now I'm like,
they act like they dog went down. So
I know. Jeez.
We're gonna end with our game of the weekend, but the divisional round is up, and so let's jump right back into the Chiefs and Texans. The Texans have no shot whatsoever, right?
Oh, zero.
I wish they would.
So the Texans have a shot, and that's only because the Chiefs have been playing the Eagles style of football this year. Just win.
I saw that they have, I think, the worst by far, the point differential. They're like plus like 50 this year or something, and like every other team that's ever been close to their record is like plus 200. And it's like, I don't get how they even won as many games as they did. But that's what I'm thinking about the no shot thing. Is like, even if it's close and it's weird, the Chiefs are still gonna win. Like, it doesn't. That's how I feel.
So it is the refs, and I hate being that type of person. And it's Lamar saying, "I don't care what you say the rest of your life. You got that foot in." Well, he didn't, and that's how that works.
No.
So there's the little bit of luck that's involved, and then there's also the refs just blatantly bailing this team out over and over and over again on late PIs, holding calls not being called the other way, and it is what it is. They got to get Taylor Swift in there in the home games, and all that stuff is real. But that being said, if they mess around and make a mistake, and it's more than a touchdown late, they can lose. They can get got because they've been playing too many teams close to the wire, and it shouldn't be, but it has been. So any given Sunday, that's how we're thinking.
Well, they play on Saturday.
They're 8.5. the Chiefs are getting 8.5. Woo!
That's a lot. I mean,
8.5. Oh golly, G Wally. All right. So
one of these days, the Texans will not play on a Saturday because they won't be a boring team to watch. It's not this year.
Nope.
What? That's how boring the Chiefs are. Because they're like, look, we're not even putting you in prime time.
Yeah.
We're having you at the 4:30 game.
Yep.
You know who's got that prime time?
Prime time.
Bills and Ravens.
Whew.
Bills and Ravens.
That's the heavyweight fight of the weekend.
Bills and Ravens. Who's the MVP of the league? The battle
Joe
is
Burrow.
guy. If they gave Joe Burrow, LeBron James need 8 because LeBron has earned.
Okay.
But Joe Burrow is so crazy because his stats warranted. He didn't get the wins.
Yeah. No,
like,
I agree.
my goodness, it's just crazy. So, Jason. No, I'm not going to do Jason. I'll do Jason second. Harry, who's winning that game?
I'm gonna go with the Bills. I mean, I think it's like Lamar's been giving me some good karma, good juju this year. That kind of seems like, the opposite of the playoff juju he usually has. So it's kind of weird. It feels like a clash of two teams that are kind of trying to figure out a way to stop losing in the playoffs. But I think the Bills, it just feels like it's their year to at least, get back to the AFC Championship. Yeah, I don't know. Josh Allen just seems like he's locked in, and they're going to do it.
Did the Bills beat the Chiefs this year?
Yes.
They're the only team to beat the Chiefs this year.
But the Ravens smoked the Bills early in the year, so that's why
that doesn't count.
Right. And the Ravens beat the Bills early in Baltimore.
Jason, who wins the game? Kate's not here.
Definitely doesn't have a gun to my head or anything. So I definitely can make that pick. And no, I do think the Bills are going to win that game because it's in Buffalo. That I think the home field advantage matters in this one. I think Buffalo has to get out to an early lead, though, and force Baltimore into a passing game, more of a passing game than trying to stop Derrick Henry for all day because Buffalo's defense is a little small.
I don't think. Oh God,
It's gonna be a good game. I hope
It's a tough
gonna
game to
be-
pick.
Like,
Yeah.
that's really
it's going to be a good game. So I know that the Bills beat the Chiefs early. I don't think that in the postseason the Bills have enough to beat the Chiefs, and I think that the Ravens have enough to beat the Chiefs. And for that reason, I want the Ravens to win. I want Zay Flowers. I want Henry. I want Lamar. I want all of those things to be at hand for them to beat the Chiefs, because I feel like if he'd had his foot in, they would have won that game to open the season too. And I feel like the Bills are so good, but they're reliant on Allen, and Allen doesn't really have help. He makes other guys better. He is lifting all the ships, but the defense, they're not going to be able to do what they do to other people to the Chiefs. It's going to be a tight game, and it's going to be there. And I'm just saying it just before if I was out against you guys, I'm saying if he's in 2 weeks, he's going to have a week off, get back, getting healthy. I think God, it's such a toss-up.
It's a toss-up, yeah.
I want the Ravens to win because I think the Ravens could beat the Chiefs better than I think the Bills can. But my God, either one of y'all win, just beat the Chiefs.
Yes, please.
That's all I want.
Yes.
I don't even want them going to the Super Bowl for a potential three-peat because I know the league is going to screw you. So how would you rather have your heart broken, Kate, against the Ravens or against the Chiefs?
Interesting. That's a good question.
Like,
I don't know what as Bills fans are feeling like that. You know, Kate does know because that is crazy. I can't imagine losing in the AFC Championship to the Chiefs again. Like that sounds painful.
It's God. It
That's
makes
that Mr. Incredible. I'm not strong enough.
for real.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick. Almost
I
makes
can't
me
do it again.
It almost makes me sick. So we're all in the Bills. I mean, I want the Ravens to win because I think they have a better chance. We're all in the Bills.
That wasn't an option, Kate. We got to put it up the comment.
That wasn't an option. Lions and Commanders. Jason.
Lions by a lot in that one. 2 touchdowns. I think the Commanders' luck runs out. The only small part of me that wishes the Commanders would win is so they could come to Philly and get their ass kicked in the championship.
That would be amazing. But at the same time, their confidence will be so sky high, and they're so young. It's that whole, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, yeah.
Harry?
Yeah, I think the Lions, I agree. The 2+ scores. Give me 21, honestly. 21 plus. That would be pretty sweet. But I feel like the Lions are locked in. And they're going to have to face a powerhouse that has the talent to compete with them like the Eagles. Otherwise, they're going to roll.
Commanders, I believe in you. I think that you could beat the Lions. I want you to go out there and give it your all. I want you to have knockdown, drag out, knuckle nose, blue nose fight. I want you to be out there like somebody owes you money. Go get them. And hopefully, like, they blow each other up in the stadium and they're all broken and everybody.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels gets another scratch and they highlight it for 10
whoever
minutes.
comes out of it alive, we get to play them. And they're all banged up. That's what I hope and wish for. Rams Eagles rematch of earlier this season. The Rams are such a much better team, and they've got the best young defensive line in football. The last 5 weeks, they've had more sacks than anybody. Matthew Stafford is a champion, and Sean McVay just is a winner. And if you take out Andy Reid, and you take out Nick Sirianni, and you take out Kyle Shanahan, and you take well, shit, that's a lot of coaches. But you know what I'm saying? He's a winner, and he wins all kinds of ways. Who you got, Aaron?
I got the Birds easily. I mean, again, I think like I want to see the offense score a little bit more and make me feel a little bit better. But our defense is so good. And you talk about the best young D line. What about the best overall offensive line? Period. So we got that on lock. I think Jalen's gonna have a better game or a more statistical game next week. And I think Saquon's gonna run for better game as well. I mean, the Packers again, their defense was good, so we have a different situation. And home field again, baby. Link's gonna be rocking. Birds by 10.
Jason.
Yep. So the 255 yards. That's right. The Rams let up 255 yards rushing to the Eagles to Saquon when they played last time. Rams are 27th in the league in defense. It's a good matchup for the Eagles because they don't play a lot of cover 2. They play a lot of single high, which is going to help Jalen get the passing game going a little bit more. And then you factor in that the Rams just had to travel to Arizona, have to travel back home, deal with the fires, travel to Philly now, and they get the short rest week because they played on Monday night, and they got to come play in Philly, and everything lines up for the Eagles to beat them.
So, tidbit of information. Matthew Stafford plays well in cold weather.
Mhm.
He plays well in the snow. He does not play well in the rain. He's 1-5 when it rains. So let's just hope that it stays 40 degrees and not 33, and we get rain instead of snow. I'll take a mix. I'll take a sleet kind of game.
Oh, and we had no Devontae and no Goddard when we played against them.
And we had no Devontae and no Goddard.
Slay, right? I believe.
Yes. So
Slay.
Slay.
Talk about Goddard spamming the stiff arm at some point, though, too, don't you?
Yeah. That's probably something else you want to talk about the game. You let it go. So, we were missing guys. I just know we're gonna blow them out. This is a good matchup for us. Styles make fights. Yep. We're going to destroy the Rams, and by land, sea, or air, they're gonna get it.
They were the best matchup of the three possible. Between
yes. I totally agree.
They were the best matchup
for us. It falls right into our lap. And again, with the travel, the weather, everything going on, it's so perfect and it's so meant to be. And also, I don't want to get too hyped up and over myself, but I am excited for this matchup and that we have this team to get to play. So this is there's not a lot of people here. Like I said, I know there's 2 games on, and that's fine. Hopefully check it out on the download or on the YouTubes or anywhere you get your pods, blackready.com. If you're here, you already heard that, so I'm telling you. Actually, you're here live. So send it to a friend. Send a friend, blackready.com. Tell them it's not porn. Tell them to go subscribe somewhere and make themselves useful.
Tell them it is porn. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they'll go click it. Blackready.com is porn. And you need it in your life. You tell you it's the best porn video available. Man, that's good marketing. Man.
Pretty hub.
Yep. Boom, boom. I don't know where I got that song from.
Porn?
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah, blackready.com. What was I saying? I was talking about beat the Rams and the Rams. Oh, yeah. So how people listen to me, because there's certain things that I say verbatim, and I don't. My hot takes are my hot takes. Like when I'm on something, I'm on it until I'm off it. So he had that stiff arm, and he stiff armed 3 times. Mm-hmm. I've never interacted with hit me on Threads. Somebody tell Black Gritty.
I saw that.
He's out there throwing his arm out again. He's out there stiff arm. I was like, shut up. I was like, hey, for this one time, I'm gonna let it go. Because I always do the little arm thing up and down like this. Because he always gets injured trying to do that stiff arm. He always gets dragged down by his arm. But he punched it. He pulled it back punching. So, if he's out here punching, if he's learned his lesson, if he's watched blackgritty.com, he's watched Gritty Nights, and he's heard the sound of my voice on air or pigeon, whatever, he's learned his lesson. It looks so much better than he normally, because he just hangs his hand out there and he holds the stiff arm, and then they just grab him for his arm for something to pull down. So but it was funny that somebody commented to me about that. I'm like punching the air, like, oh, bitch, shut up. You know what I meant.
It worked one time, and now, exactly.
Yeah. Came at me instantly too. I was still in the middle, like, my little message came up like, look at your cold ass take, you bitch ass. I was like, oh my God. Can't even celebrate.
Oh my God.
Celebrate. So that means somebody's out here listening to the pod because they know what I'm out here talking about, and what you guys are out here talking about. So we're all on the birds.
Yes.
Divisional weekend. So the last thing before we get out of here, I just want to talk about the 76ers are now reversing their Market Street Arena, and they're doing a deal with Comcast. Comcast will be becoming a minority owner in the 76ers, and they will be building a new arena where the Wells Fargo Center is, and Comcast gets the naming rights, and they're going to do a joint venture to buy and bring in a WNBA team. Harry, how do you feel about that situation?
I love that. I mean, I wanted to be in South Philly, stay in South Philly again. Everyone's kind of, some people may want it to be downtown for kind of whatever the the big reasons are. Oh, the cool like downtown stadium, just whatever that means. But the traffic was going to be terrible. It was going to displace a lot of people. And I think right now I want to build out the stadiums. I want to build out that area, have more than just Xfinity. Get some restaurants down there. Get some other nightlife. And a WNBA team, oh my God, like I didn't even know that was, I think we've talked about that before. It's like so exciting. And we're such a city that will embrace and back up that team, be excited about that team, and use it as leverage to kind of hate on the Sixers too. If the WNBA team's doing good, then we'll talk a little bit more trash to the Sixers and try to get them to do better. So I think it's a perfect situation. Comcast also as a business, whatever. I don't like them, but I like them more than Wells Fargo. So just a little bit more Philly vibes down there, and I'm excited for that WNBA team a lot.
Jason,
everything the Sixers do is to waste fans' time anymore. They go through this whole big thing that they're moving to Center City, and then there's big fights about it, and there's people protesting and all that, and then they get approved and they're happy about it, and then they're like, just kidding, we're not going to do it. Not that big of a deal, and nothing even comes of it, right? Now they're going to stay in South Philly, and everyone's excited, so that you can go down to the big area of nothingness when you get out there, the big parking lots, and do nothing. Hopefully in what they said, 2031, they're going to redo stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to start building things. This is all a precursor for the Eagles getting a new stadium also down in that area. So I guess it's going to be cool. But the Sixers right now are just the most unlikable organization there is in the city. And there's just nothing that they do that deserves positive praise. I ended the show.
I was gonna say, damn, she'll let me go last. That's
So if you're a Sixers fan, I assume that you've dated a narcissist, okay? Because the 76ers are playing you the fuck out if you think they care about you. Oh my God, I think Jersey's gonna want to build a stadium or something if Philly doesn't want to. Oh, no. Don't go to we cannot have you leave Philadelphia and go to New Jersey. We need you to stay here, baby. Okay, well, if you get the Asians on board, then maybe we could just, let's make everybody angry and tell them we're going to build some shops. We're going to have all this parking. Everything's going to be okay. Pay off council people. It's approved. Oh, thank you, Big Daddy. And the next thing you know, in the middle of my football wild card weekend, a news dump comes and Adam Silver and Jesus himself will come down from the heavens and said, oh, well, we need to make a real deal. Oh, really? Well, let's make the deal then, Daddy. And by the way, remember when we said we were going to fully fund our stadium? Well, now that we're doing it with Comcast, we can get those tax dollars, right? Because it's all about the jobs in the city, right? All about the labor. Bitch, this is a narcissist. They're gaslighting the fuck out of you, and you keep falling for it. The thing that you wanted in the first place is the thing that you're getting. And they ran you up and down a hill and told your mother that they were pregnant and they get $500 for an abortion that they never had. And now next thing they get another abortion. And I'm like, how can you get 2 abortions in 1 month? You can get pregnant twice in 30 days? How is it possible? If you like the 76ers, you are fucking with a narcissist, gaslighting punk-ass Scooby McDoo bitch that gives a fuck about you. I don't give a shit about the 76ers. They got this whack-ass lineup out here. My goodness, I don't even know if Comcast is going to do anything to help them. Comcast, are you in on this shit too? Been bamboozled, run amok, led astray. It is absolutely garbage and disgusting what the 76ers have done. So fuck your 76ers place, palace, house, Mickey Mouse Club, whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. Anyway.
And I thought mine was good.
The Flyers.
I was like, damn, I didn't know you were going that direction.
So
that's the question, though. Is the Flyers, will they also be in the Comcast arena? Or are they
yes, they're all going to be a home. Okay. And they're going to have a downtown. It's going to be vibrant. Now, I'm looking at the little drawings that they make, and I think to myself, where the fuck is everybody going to park? If they're building all these shops and stores and all this stuff down there, where's everybody going to park? Because they're talking about like reopening up some of the other streets to get the flow of traffic coming in better. But it's like, oh, so you're still going to do the whole thing where you're like, public transit has to be a thing? Well, Eagles fans will burn down a building to have a place to park. Like, tailgating is king.
Yeah.
Tailgating for Eagles games matters. If you don't have enough parking to do that there's not enough public transportation in the world. They show up there at 4:30 in the morning.
Wait till everyone sees how much those lots are once they build up all those places too to park.
Dude, it's just an abysmal thing that's going to happen. Anything you want to say on the way out, Harry?
I don't know. I'm kind of crushed now. I was gonna say better. I'm happy the stadium's in South Philly. All the other stuff you said is correct, though. I'm happy the location is in South Philly. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, go Birds!
Out here in Man fans, stay so strong. Revenge tour for the Rams.
That's a bunch of hoopla and was that magic? That's not real.
Nando Night, you know what? I believe in vibes. I believe in hopes and dreams. I also believe that if you come out here to Philadelphia on a cross-country tour, you're going to get your teeth kicked in. And I also believe that all that hype was burnt out on you in Arizona.
Oh, not burnt out.
Not you. Not you, Nando, them. And yes, burnout. It's burnout. Everything was fire, this, LAFD, that, LAFD, fire. They brought the dogs. They had the B-102 planes. There's so much weight on you on a Monday night game, the last game of the weekend to perform. You're running sky high. They brought Rachel Platten out there. Shout out to Rachel. I know Rachel. I went and saw her before she was nobody and somebody. She was still somebody to somebody. But I remember seeing her in a little coffee shop in Philadelphia, and I'm like, this girl could sing. And she's out there on the national stage still singing her, "This is our fight song. Take back my life song." And I mean, the emotions of that song alone get you out there crying. Then she did the national anthem. And it's just draining. And they went out there and they blew their wad, and then they get to go home, deal with smoke and fog, and then they got to come back out here and do it again. I'm sorry. You can't ramp that up every single week over and over and over again. At some point, you're going to lose all your energy and momentum, and I think that it happens this week. No fault of their own. That's why they call it a hot take. But bumps.
Yeah.
Jason, you got anything on your way out?
Nah, just go Birds, man. Let's go for one more week. Let's keep it moving. Week by week, survive in advance.
One game at a time, baby. That's all I'm saying. One game at a time. And if you don't like Jalen, just hush about it on this run. You know what?
Just enjoy the win.
If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, you have all offseason to talk trash about this man. But when we're winning, can we just get behind the guy and win? You know what I mean? Put the pom-poms up and get them out and shake them things. And let's get this George W. I already told you. Gritty Nights is on blackgritty.com. You can download, subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Send it to a friend. I appreciate you, and I thank you, and have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Take a look in my game face. Ain't no stopping me. You know I'm coming in first place. Won't stop it till I get that ring. I'ma dominate all day. No matter who you bring, I will not lose. Yeah.